Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Football Manager. We are playing as they're United still, and we are coming up to the end of the Championship League. When I'm recording this, episode 26 hasn't gone up yet, but I've been able to read a lot of helpful comments on episode 24 and 25. So thank you very much for that. First of all, I wanted to address a couple of people brought up, hey, maybe we should be playing Jace Oliveiro on the senior squad at this point. And yeah, he has definitely developed a lot. This is someone that we picked up over here. He's, kind of equal to Caleb Crane, probably will surpass Caleb Crane. In fact, there's some excellent statistics going on there. And I was like, you know what? So I moved him to the senior squad because I'm like, you know what? We'll give him a go. We'll get him started. He has a fantastic crossing, good stats, lots of stuff on the way up. If we give him a fair amount of play, he might be able to really develop. Not that Caleb Crane is bad, clearly, but Jace has got some real potential. And it turns out that I might have to go and take more control over the junior squad because the junior squad coach has decided to trade him away to Rotherham. Yeah, for no money. For free. Even though this guy is going to be a goddamn beast. He is going to be fantastic. He has been traded. I don't remember where we see it. Transfer status? Transfer offer? Right here. $0. He's going to be transferred away. On the 1st of July. For nothing. And I don't think I can override this. Yeah. So, that is incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. So, I'm going to make sure that... where would that be? Because it's not under 20s. Fixtures and things like that. So, it's probably under here. Find and make offers for first team, young players for the future. I think that's probably okay for the AI to automatically maybe snatch up some people that present themselves. But new contract negotiations playing as your youth team, but that's fine because that's signing new people. And I can still do it manually if I want to. Transfers outgoing, there we go. Don't trade away anyone. Loaning out's not so bad, although I'll do it as well, because there's probably not that much work to do it. Because that's actually horrible. That's actually the worst. I put him in the under-20s to make sure he was getting a lot of play. Because, we had a bit of duplication against Caleb Crane, very, very strong in the left wing, and Oliveiro, exactly the same sort of status. But the difference being that Oliveiro was quite young. Caleb Crane, actually, Caleb Crane's, yeah, he's only 22 as well. So there might have been some redundancy there, but I'm betting we could have gotten their value up and then at least traded one of them away for a whole bunch of money, and then kept the other one, right? So, like, we could have traded away, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm very, very bitter and disappointed about that because I wanted him to play in the under-20s to get lots and lots of playtime and experience because having the two of them didn't really make much sense. I mean, I could have had Oliveiro over here as a substitute every game, but he wouldn't see that much play, especially since he is pretty focused. He can really only play back left over here. I guess if we'd play a defensive midfielder on the left, I don't know how frequent that is, although I suppose we could have pushed him up a little bit more. He could have presumably done something like that, but that's about it. So in terms of a substitution role, not really ideal. What we really want him for is a first teamer. So I'm extraordinarily sad and kind of pissed that I would never have imagined that he would have gotten sold for $0. I have no idea what the youth manager was thinking, but we've taken away that responsibility now. Very, very, very disappointed. What else? What else? There's been some people have suggested all their alternative strategies here. It'd be nice to be able to like work out a few tests. But for example, instead of a 4-3-3, people have suggested that perhaps a like a 3-defender formation, either a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2, 3-5-2. Would be okay, or some people are saying maybe a 4-1-4-1, a few different possibilities like that, suggesting that perhaps the lack of a defensive midfielder was one of the things that was causing a problem in, I think a game against the Hibs maybe, which I think we used this structure for, or the other one, I don't know, either way, I guess we used this one here, and so that might have been a little bit a little bit better overall. So, keeping those in mind, definitely. I don't want to make too many radical changes, because the problem is if we do it now, we're going to have no tactical familiarity. And we're going to be going into just the last 2 games of the season with no tactical familiarity, and that's going to be non-ideal. But if there is a 3rd season, and there's a lot of people who are really dedicated to this series, so if there is a 3rd season, then we will look into that. It would be very, very good to finally, like, bust out of the Championship League. Well, hitting Premier is not necessarily the most critical, but if we could, like, win one of these cups, if we could find our way somehow to perform in like one of the European kind of championship tournament type things, that would be very cool. And I mean, I feel like our team has gotten much stronger. I don't know if our final placement is going to necessarily represent that, but I think our team now is much stronger than it was at the end of last season, at least on paper. So, I'm not sure. And I mean, we are going to end up probably placing higher. Again, we don't have 2nd place locked in. And, you know, it may be a little bit hubristic to say that. But there's only 4 games left. And so it would take us basically, you know, we'd have to basically win nothing, in which case there would really be a chance for Dunfermline or Kilmarnock to surpass us if they can get 2 or 3 wins in a row. So we are playing at home against Morton. It is in 7 days. Normally, I already advanced the schedule before then. Oh, I guess I should figure out what strategy we're going to play. Well, since we're playing at home, we're going to go back to our 3-2-3-1. We might call it 3-2-3-1, I guess so. Every now and again it changes it, and sometimes it's like it calls it something different. But I think we'll go with something like this. It's going to be okay. We'll go and pre-place our people in the correct positions here. Ryan Stevenson there. I'm not even sure we're going to play him as Ungaunch. I think we're actually going to play him as an attacking midfielder instead. I think that's going to be a-okay. Not Craig McGuffey on the wing, but Vincent LeBaron, who hasn't played in a little while. We're going to get you there, and we'll probably get Craig McGuffey in there, who, as always, is wanted by other clubs. Not really a surprise. Nicky, in 7 days, I'm sure you're going to be fine. I still want to alternate Nicky and Tony, but we have promised Nicky a few more starts, so we're going to go ahead and do that. It'll be good for the whole team morale if he is pleased. You are set to... I'm going to go defensive fullback here, since you're super comfortable in a role. It would be really nice if you could develop a little bit more comfort in a few different roles. Do we want the wing back support over here, or maybe we might just put you in a fullback sort of support role? Just not quite as aggressive. I think it's going to be okay. Ross Doherty's done great things for us. I still don't know if we're going to want to play him here, because I mean, I think it still is nice to incentivize someone to be a ball-winning midfielder. If we've only got 2 midfielders over here, and be explicitly, well, you're actually okay on support role. I'm just worried that that's going to send too many people up. We do have that sort of defensive weakness with this particular configuration, but it's okay. We'll go control. We'll keep... I'm going to get rid of the flank rules. That's going to be okay, but continue to try to work the ball into the box. Gary Fraser is back in here. I think that's going to be swell and lovely. And as we get closer to the date, we'll probably reshuffle some of our substitutes here, but let's just get people in position. We got a specific question. You want Alexis Sauvage? Who? Well, I don't know what the offer is going to be, and I don't know if we're going to take that, because I did not renew the contract for one of the goalkeepers, and Sauvage is really good. I don't think we can give him up, and we're going to say as much. We'll be cautious about it. Tons of respect for him, but he's not for sale. Good manager. Yeah, sure. Yeah, we trust each other. Everything is good and groovy. There'll be an under-20s match over here. Oh yeah, I still have my scouts checking all the youth intakes. Oh, plus a couple others. I think we got approached by someone. All the youth intakes from Scotland. Attached monthly training report. Do I remember seeing this before? Mr. Terry Harris. Everyone's happy with the training right now, which is good. Balanced average intensity is still going to be fine. You suggest that we switch this over to positioning. Sure, that sounds fine to me. No extra training for Michael Johnston, who is... 18 years old. Attacking midfielder. First touch, passing, technique, flair. How's your finishing? Not great. So probably building up to be more of a playmaker type thing, which to me means first touch, passing, and vision in here. So we might go and explicitly work on one of those. Because we can't work on vision specifically. We can work on positioning, that's fine. Let's work on his first touch a little bit. So he's a good person to pass to. Concerned about tactics. Suggested focus. Yeah, okay. Composure for someone in that position is going to be good. Jamie Thomas, you are specifically going to work on your target man, which just affects your training style a wee bit. Positioning, sure. Ryan Stevenson, we should focus on his quickness, and we're concerned about his aerobic ability. I guess we'll go with that, and we'll sort of generic attacking midfielder training is fine. It's going to cover everything he needs, so I think that's going to be a-okay. So the 4-2-3-1 wide is still the one with the best familiarity. We're actually 100% there, especially when we're on counterplay. So I think that's going to be swell. The 5-3-2 we're still a little rough on. One of the questions going into the match will be if we're going to practice for a specific strategy or not. Let me set all to until fit. We got 6 days, so no one's going to be too tired. Fortis, Stevenson, Vincent is good. We might not need Ebu. He's not one of the starters, right? Oh, he is going to be a starter, so you know what? I do actually want him to have maximum sharpness. Yeah, this seems fine. Let's go ahead with this. Norwegian transfer window roundup. God, I can't believe they traded away Oliviero. That's what I get for, you know what, not paying attention to the under-20s. And admittedly, I focus on the senior squad, and I think that's important early on, but we did get to the point where we actually started to use the under-20s to build the team. Because in Season 1, the original Air United, the under-20s is actually, like, all, like, the gray, like, random generated characters. They're not real characters that you really have. But that's been accumulating over time, and there's been a couple people I've picked up and then sent them to the under-20 squad to develop their talents over there. And, well, it's Michael Johnston, the guy's quite good, actually. He's very good. I mean, not yet. He's not playable yet, but he's quite nice. Can we get him tutored? Oh, he's already been tutored. Excellent. Hot prospect. Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay. That was the other thing. Oliviero, it like set him to like not needed. I'm like, what? I did not set that. That's for sure. So I'm assuming that's just something that's set automatically. Gigan resumes full training. Excellent. 60% sharpness. Tom Pope is still injured. We are... Okay, we do have to give it a little bit of think to the positioning. Clearly, then, we're going to need Jamie Thomas as a possible sub over here. Vincent Stubb. I mean, we could have Jace come in one more time, but what's the point? That's right. Craig can go back to a wing if needed. That's not a whole lot of overlapping cover. We might want... Well, Marcus Brown is pretty rough, but we might want to consider Marcus as a possible sub for people. Because he can also sub in the middle, but probably Paul Kearney makes more sense. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and... Can I just clear all the subs? Clear subs. There we go. That's going to be a good way to start it. So, we're going to want either Jordan Hart or Greg Fleming to be available to goalkeep, and I think we're going to go with Greg Fleming because he's got a little bit more prep. We are going to want Thomas, again, in the front. And that's going to be okay. We could... That's not Thomas. There we go. And create Paul Kearney. Paul Kearney over here. So that covers attacking midfielder substitution only. Although he can also play as a regular midfielder. So that's why I like Paul. He's got a lot of flexibility for the kind of subs that we're looking for. I'd love to possibly give Andy some play, but and it's 5 days from now. He actually might be cleared for up to 60 minutes. We're gonna consider him as a midfielder sub over here. I mean, mostly he'd be coming in as the ball. Oh, doubled up on ball-winning midfielders. That's not what I want. You should be a box-to-box midfielder. There we go, something like that. And the ball-winning midfielder, I think we're gonna explicitly put you on a more defensive sort of stance. That's gonna be okay. In terms of the back line, so we probably want Tony Ralston available. And then for the center, Tom Flanagan at very least, and maybe Will Nightingale. Tom Flanagan. There you are. So, We might want one more midfielder available. We've got a few good options. Ross is still one of our key passers. And an excellent, like, playmaker. Deep lying or attacking. Oh, Alan Forrest is another person we tend... Because he can cover some of the wings over here. So there we go. Something like this. I think that's going to be okay. All right. And it's similar to mostly how we've worked. Now watch someone get an injury in practice and we have to reshuffle everything. I should actually give this a save again. I have like the save config, but it doesn't really apply anymore because there have been too many changes. Air player named in Team of the Week. We get that a lot. Hey, Jamie Thomas. Excellent. But yeah, let me save team selection. 4, 2, 3, 1. So it'll overwrite what we had before. And that's fine. Just in case I break things and set things back. So a win here would be massive. Although there's still a good chance that the second and third, or the third and fourth place teams also book a win, in which case we're still only going to be 6 points apart, although it becomes a lot closer. Kelly, issues, Doherty promised, oh yes, I did promise to start you more games. And I don't even have you as a sub. Is that right? That is right. Alright, tell you what. Instead of Ebu, and what are you most comfortable in? Still don't know if a playmaker here is right, although we no longer, you know what? Deep lying. On support is probably fine, especially if we're not playing as him in Ungaunch. There we go, I think that'll be a good connecting kind of thing. That's going to be okay. It'll make him happy, which will, you know, help the whole team morale out if everyone's happy. Because one person, like, whining about a promise not being met will turn everyone down a bit. I didn't have to promise him that. But the fact of the matter is, Ross Doherty's quite good and probably... okay, that's fine. Probably... Maybe we just... I'm wondering if we don't go with an attacking midfielder. I mean, then the question is, what do we do with Stevenson, who is very good, right? Like, what exactly is the strongest composition for Steph? I don't know. I can see the argument for like lots of different things. The 4-1-4-1. Although I don't know if we've got midfielder wingers that are happy. So I think we're going to do that. More defense duties. And we might want Doherty to be more defensively minded. I think that's okay. So what's the difference here between the setup? Shoot less often, hold position. Still shoot less often, hold position, but a little further back. In defense duty, will fulfill extra defensive responsibility by holding position in front of the defense and will rarely look to support attacks. I think that's probably best. I think he might almost feel like a defensive midfielder back here. It still means we're going to have a big gap in between the two positions. But I think that's going to be okay. All right. Tomorrow at 1500, we're playing Morton at home. McGuffey has done okay. Individual training. General characters, positive effect lately. That's good. Determination going up a little bit. Focuses on first touch, which has started to develop a fair bit, which is nice. His finishing still not 2 digits. But I'm curious, if we take a look at Hugh and your development track, the first touch has been climbing. Now, these are 1 month at a time, so it hasn't been going up too fast, but it's been going okay. Oh, you... There we go. Specifically training some of these things. We can also see some of these stats a little bit more. I think it's still okay to work on this. Still would prefer him to have a little bit more stamina, or, you know, more strength. I mean, you just prefer to see that. Teamwork's not so good. Vision isn't great, although I don't think that's something trainable. His positioning is pretty bad. And I'm surprised that's not something that's covered by something like False 9 or something like that, because he needs to be able to, like, exploit openings. His vision and positioning is not great. So he's often not going to be in a right, perfect area to receive a pass to score. Again, he's got the raw natural skills over here, but I'm still worried about his overall technical stuff. You know, maybe he's not going to be the God King that we expected him to be. And maybe I should have sold him for, like, what was it, the last offer? Like 4 months worth of freaking salary? Probably wouldn't have been a terrible idea. Gigan, 60 minutes. Ihia, 45 minutes. I think Gigan's in the sub list. He is. So we'll see if we can get him a little bit in there. All right, match preview. It's 12 degrees and raining here at Somerset Park in South Ayrshire. We've won most of the games against Morton, but not all of them. Not a huge crowd over here. Referee is a little aggro on the yellow cards. It's good to see. A couple of people are out on the other side, which I don't mind seeing that at all. And team selection. Yeah, I think I'm pretty okay with this. Let's submit our team. Ross Doherty, yeah, he's 79%. 1 more percent, and we wouldn't get a warning about it. It still would be nice to have him with more sharpness. Hopefully we got enough midfielders in the sub to sub him out, but I think we're going to be okay. And again, we can always pull either Ryan Stevenson or, I want to say, Adams? What's his name? No. Paul Kearney. That's what I'm thinking of. Who I sort of have in there as attacking midfielders, but they're both fairly comfortable as just midfielders. So there you go. Even odds towards us. So a little lower on Morton. Again, a draw wouldn't be bad because just 1 point brings us from a 6-point differential to a 7-point differential, depending on how things go. And that means we can just drop the extra win, right? So either we'll be 7 points ahead of third place, or we'll be 4 points ahead of third place. Either way, that's considerably better than 6 or 3 because of the margin and our huge goal diff as well. So it's going to be a lot. They have to really beat us outright on points, which is probably more likely. Your other side will confirm a spot in playoffs with win here. Yeah, you know what? I'm assertively going to say we deserve to qualify. Is he not on my sub list? Did I forget to include a second striker? We want to save him for the finals. Yeah, strategic depth. Oh, someone's playing with an injury over here already. Potential illness. Is he the food poisoning guy? I think he might be. Yeah, Jamie Thomas is in as a sub. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Listen. We're going to be, if we win here, we secure a playoff spot. Well, okay, you know what? I'm not going to say anything else. There's a couple of people who aren't, you know what, very good or superb, but I don't want to overdo it with the talking. This is going to be okay. The only instruction we have in here is to work the ball into the box. We get the flexible team shape, which is probably okay for a more offensive situation. All right, so we're going to be in our black and white stripes, our standard at-home colors, and we are now in the offense 11 seconds into the game. Excellent. So what do we have here? Fortis tries to center it in front of the net, but he gets sent out. Oh, Nicky Devlin keeps it in. I mean, it would have been a throw-in for us, but it's possible that keeping the momentum was good. Doherty finds Fraser. Fraser back to Doherty, who's probably going to center it. No, back to Fraser. Gets it wide to Fortis, who's going to have to pass it back. It's interesting with the exploit flanks. We're seeing a lot more flank plays still. Stevenson, backwards pass to Vincent LeBaron with a beautiful shot on net. Again, not like massively powered, but I'll take an on-target shot any day of the week. Vincent LeBaron with the corner kick. Gets it centered up. Looks like one of us may have gotten a head on there for a second, but ultimately gets sent out. LeBaron to Stevenson. Stevenson, is he just going to try to shoot? I was pretty sure he would. Nicky Devlin keeps up the offense. Gets it wide to LeBaron, who's going to be in good position to... Well, not exactly what I expected. I was going to say he could either take a beautiful shot there, although at a relatively sharp angle, or maybe pass it to someone else. Still, we got a corner. LeBaron sending it into the hands of the goalkeeper, who goes quite far out of the goal. If someone else had gotten to the ball there, it would have been a pretty easy shot. Savage, yeah, the home colors for our goalkeeper is kind of weird. That sort of very muted kind of teal, I guess. Fraser sends it over to Doherty. Doherty looking for someone to pass to. Gets it over to Caleb Crane, who's not going to run up. Just back to Doherty, who was able to send it forward to LeBaron. Back to Doherty. We've got a couple of people open in the center. There we go. Gary Fraser up to Stevenson. Quickly passed to Daryl Fortis, who gets to McGuffey. Back over to Daryl Fortis, who sends it wide. Daryl really not doing it for us in terms of pure offense. A lot of his passes have been bang on. His performance overall has been okay. But he hasn't scored that much, especially when you compare it to Vincent LeBaron. And still not entirely sure why that's mostly been happening. Especially... Oh! Damn. Oh, damn. Especially since they have both been sent to attack for a long time. So you'd think they'd have just as many shooting opportunities. It could have something to do with the fact that we tend to play... Caleb Crane on the left side more aggressive, and so he might be able to run it up a bit more and then pass it up to to LeBaron, that's entirely possible, whereas Nicky's often a little bit more defensive on the right, and so he might look for the centering pass more instead. Corner kick does get deflected away. Looks like Vincent is going to win that race with a little bit of burst of speed at the end. Very nice acceleration there, buddy. High pace as well. Magat back to LeBaron, centers it to Stevenson. Stevenson gets tackled, but LeBaron keeps up the aggro, sends it wide of the net, unfortunately, and that's going to be a goal kick. So we're out shooting 5-1. Only one on target, though, and again, that's despite the fact that we have the work ball into box instruction set up. Wow. Bit of a trip there, and it is going to start a very dangerous offense here for Morton. Woo, that is incredibly risky. That's going to be a shot, but from fairly far away. I'm actually not convinced that that would have gone in, and we may have been able to get away from this without a corner kick. But a corner is what is going to happen. Let's hope that we can clear this out. Nice head by Fraser there. Unfortunately, Morton is able to maintain possession here, although they make a very poor use of their time on the ball, and we're going to clear that out. Now, this video is already getting a little bit long. I'm wondering about going to key plays here, because we did spend a lot of time. McGuffey, tries to cross to Fortis. LeBaron keeps it in. Fraser, back to LeBaron. LeBaron to Stevenson, knocks it up just a little bit for McGuffey. It looks like it got tackled away from McGuffey, but right into the waiting feet of Stevenson, who delivered the ball with incredible power to the top back of the net. Wonderful. Really, really, really well done. And yeah, I'm convinced more and more that the games where we've played Stevenson as attacking midfielder as opposed to Ongonj, if McGuffey can win this race off the goalpost, it does get cleared, but he's going to open up a corner for us. There's a really good scoring opportunity there. And the corner apparently did not lead to anything else. But as I say, yeah, playing Stevenson as an attacking midfielder as opposed to Ongonj seems to result in slightly better play. That had a lot of potential if we could have gotten someone on there. Fraser delivers the ball with power, a little high, but it's good to see one of his patented power kicks from outside the box come into play. We don't want to see it too often, but just often enough to confuse things. So we've been working around with the yellow card for a while on Ross Doherty. Hopefully he does not get a second one. Oh, this is incredibly dangerous. All right, who's this Rudin guy? Is there something we can do about him? Rudin, tightly marked, hard tackling. Yeah, what else are we going to do about this guy? Specifically mark him, I guess. Ross Doherty is got a little bit of the match sharpness. He was coming at 79%, so as most likely we'll do an earlier sub on him anyway. So we lose our lead. The goalkeeper's trying to interfere. Oh, LeBaron with the real opportunity there, I've got to say. Although it looked like it was way too wide, like the goalkeeper wasn't even interested in moving, and at first I took that as a good sign that the goalkeeper had been, beaten or confused, but no, he just saw that it was going incredibly wide. Looks like Ricky Lemmy win that header there, although Stevenson losing his challenge. Over to Walsh wide, sets it forward to this Rudin guy, who can center it. Header goes well over, thank goodness for that. It's possible we don't want to be quite as aggressive, or it's possible that we do want to slide in the attacking midfielder to the actual midfield. 4-3-2-1 kind of thing, but wide, as opposed to narrow. Craig McGuffey beating a lot of defenders over and over and over again. Unfortunately, he beat himself when it came to actually trying to put the ball in the net, or anywhere close to it, in fact. Listen, let's win for our fans, come on. And I've got passion for all of you. We need to get your morale up a little bit more. We still don't have an okay there in the middle. And that's Ross Doherty, yeah. We'll be summing you up pretty soon, especially with the yellow card. But we'll probably give you another 5 or 10 minutes here, and then do the sub, because you got a little bit of rest at halftime. So we'll take advantage of that, and then bring in some fresh legs into the middle. McGuffey sending over to Vincent LeBaron. There's a lot of bodies. Beautiful backwards pass to Ryan Stevenson. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to move up fast enough to take advantage of the gap that had presented itself. Crane is also going to get a yellow card. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's bring off Ross Doherty over here. He's done, at 6.8, he hasn't done too badly, but I think it's time to swap him out. And let's bring in Andy Geegan. And you are going to be playing explicitly as a defensively minded, ball-winning midfielder, because that is your absolute strength. So let's do that. Back from a long injury stint here. So how's our possession? 57%, pass completion 75%. Not doing as well in the tackles and the headers. But even though we're out shooting them 2-1, we are still just drawn. So yeah, again, we have everything about this formation is very offensively minded. Oh, Crane losing the ball there. That's really unfortunate. And Rudin beating the defender there. Big shot. Luckily, it was far enough away that Savage was able to take care of it. But I have to say, he had to reach pretty high for it. I'm pretty sure that wasn't going over the net either. So, I think that would have been a score. Oh, twisted ankle on the other side. 60 minutes in. There's a lot of football left. Let's take a look real quick at the opposition setup. Made right, and that's... They've only got the 2 subs. They still have this guy who might have a slight injury. I don't think there's anything else to do here. Gareth Fraser's tiring out a fair bit. All right, Vincent with the corner. Lammy is going to go for it. Sends it vaguely forward, but far off target. Yeah, 14 shots, only 2 on target. Like, our shot quality has been really poor. So I think if we're going to do anything, yeah, we're gonna swap out Craig McGuffey here, bring in Jamie Thomas, and we'll get him to keep playing as a false 9. I think that's fine. I think that's going to be okay. Unless what we do is we switch him over to be a target man, on attack though, and Stevenson can play as like kind of a shadow striker. Again, we're becoming more and more aggressive, but it might not be a terrible idea. Just change the way the ball is moving instead of like, oh, big trip there, huge trip. I mean, that's going to be at least a yellow card, clearly. I don't think Titzer's got one yet. For an accumulation of fouls, so he's just been playing pretty aggressively this entire time, and we've got 12 fouls on our own side too. Stevenson over to Andy Gigan. Gigan to LeBaron. LeBaron I'm going quite far backwards here. Do you realize that's... Oh, another big push! Come on, referee! He didn't even have the ball, and he got shoved from behind. That should have been his second yellow card. Out of the game. Thomas takes a shot, but it is deflected by a... we're playing Morton body. Come on here. Okay, we are going to do another sub soon. Baron to Crane. Crane quite far into the center. Up to Gary Fraser. It gets knocked away. Stevenson keeps it in the box. Attempts a shot there. Did it touch one of the Morton players? No, it's going to be a goal kick. That's too bad. I thought it might have been deflected high from a Morton boot. All right, let's consider a final substitution here. It's a little bit early, but there's a sort of a reek of desperation going on. I don't like that your morale's only okay, Daryl. I'm thinking we're bringing in Alan Forrest. So a lot of our substitutions have been up front, but kind of feels like we need to score here, although because it's a 2-point difference, like a win versus a draw. And I said that a draw would improve our position, sure, but a win would A, lock us into the playoffs, and B, make it virtually impossible to lose second place. I'm fairly confident about second, but I mean, if we're going to get a win, this is one of the ones we're probably going to get. McGatt losing the ball over there. Really, really kind of pitiful. I think there's another away game after this, and I think we're going to show it. Oh, that was incredibly scary. Losing that header there, going just wide of the goal. We're still out shooting them, but our on-targets are really poor. There's a lot of the shots seem to involve knocking the ball off of someone else's foot. I don't know. Maybe what we'll do is we'll try a little bit of clear ball out to flank and see if we can initiate something that way. Because we do have... Oliver was clipped by Geegan. What's this going to be? I mean, I'm sure he's going to get it hard, yeah. As long as it wasn't an instant red. That's actually our third yellow. I thought they had more yellows than that. I'm confused. Megat wins that. Excellent. Savage... Indeed, trying to clear it sort of flank-wise. LeBaron does lose that, though. Okay, they just send it wide that way. I don't think I want to go to a more attacking mentality, because I do want at least the point from the draw. And we're already pretty attacky. Fraser wins that one. Send it far forward, but I don't think Thomas is going to win that one. I'm worried that the clear ball to the flanks is causing people to maybe play a little bit stupid. This is incredibly bad. Incredibly bad. Okay, so now what we have to do is actually, like, overload. Don't do that, but do play, like, Route 1. We got to go for some aggressive passing and try to get something done. High tempo, lots of aggressive passing. LeBaron with the corner. Does get knocked out. Looks like Andy Gigan should be able to keep possession for us. Send it forward to LeBaron, who centers it not so well. Right into the hands of the goalkeeper. How do we routinely outshoot the opposition and then fail? It's probably a big gap in our defense. Which is just making me wonder if we should just keep playing the 5-3-2. Because, yeah, I don't think we've got people who are comfortable playing as the midfield wingers. Just attacking midfield wingers. And we've never had that. Air United didn't start with that, which is one of the reasons we never looked at playing a 4-4-2. Is because we never had those positions, and therefore we built around that, and therefore we didn't go around recruiting people to fill those positions. We slowly went for the attacking midfielder kind of recruiting. And maybe just a regular midfielder, like winger recruiting would have been better. Stevenson, oh, come on! Beautiful opportunity there. He might have even been offside, to be honest, though. Doesn't come up because it just goes into the back. 4 minutes of extra time. I mean, we can't play more aggressive than we're already doing here. Crane centers up to Gary Fraser. Gary Fraser just sends it to Stevenson, who sends it incredibly wide. I realize that we're playing a little higher tempo, and that might be leading to people sort of screwing up a lot more, but... Like, what the hell? How are we only 2 shots on? Come on, demand more. Forrest keeps that in, because that would have been a throw-in for them. Because we only have 4 minutes to play here. Fraser to Forrest, who sends it well forward to Thomas. Gets it over to Stevenson. Fails that pass a little bit. Gets it to LeBaron. LeBaron tries the shot there. I don't think that was ever really going to go in from that angle. That was going to be particularly tricky to pull off. Sent deep. Can we get another offensive play going on here? 2 minutes left to go. Throw into Forrest. We've got... There's a possibility. Forrest's... I guess... Yeah, that's kind of a cross, but... a little too on target, I think. Gaston looks like he's doing full time wasting over here. Definitely. Devlin keeps it in. Fraser... moves it up quickly to Thomas. Thomas is going to send it a little wider. Stevenson there. Maybe to LeBaron. No, over to... Yeah, I was going to say, Crane's open. Crane is... Oh! Tripped up there. We're wasting time on this card. Yeah, the yellow card. Free kick. Morton's just playing a lot stronger here. Stevenson... gets cleared, but he's going to be able to keep it back in. Can Thomas get it in there? Yes, the equalizer from Thomas. Oh, thank you very much. Let's just go ahead to standard over here. That's going to be fine. Back to standard. A last minute equalizer. Thank goodness for that. Because, again, that 1 point is going to be a big differential. I'm still overall kind of disappointed, and I'm going to let the team know about that. Yeah. Assertively, that was disappointing performance. You could have done a lot better for us. But I'm just wondering if the 4-2-3-1 is just too far forward. Apparently we did end up securing ourselves there. Let's take a look at the competition. So Dunfermline did get a win. Yes? Yes. So we're 4 points away. So again, if we lose and they win again, we'll still be ahead, although only by 1 point. At this point, with 2 games or 3 games remaining, I mean, if we draw 3 more times, that'll continue to keep a little bit of gap in there. If we get 1 win, we're in a very, very good position. What's our next thing? Oh, Wraith away. Wraith is one of the people who we haven't had a great record against. And yeah, I think it's too early to make crazy changes. But what about if we played this wide instead of narrow? Right? If we explicitly went in trying to do something like this, maybe standard mentality, and saw what we can do this way. Play a little bit more of a strong midfielders. So 1 ball winning. Ball winning there. Let's say the advanced playmaker here. Something kind of like that. I think that's the sort of thing we might end up looking to do. Gigan, who hopefully can play all the time. Stevenson might still be the better person there, but I think Doherty is going to be... Oh, what happened there? There we go. Fraser, Doherty, LeBaron, and put in Jamie Thomas again. Something kind of like this. That might not be a terrible idea. How is the familiarity? It's actually not too far off. And this might play better for us. I don't think we want you as a... We might want you to target man. I think it's probably more reasonable to just say, listen, you're just going to be advanced forward on attack. There we go. Generic advanced forward on attack is probably fine. Both score and create goals. And then these guys on sort of supporty kind of thing. That might be too much support. We might want to explicitly make them attack, but I think it's okay. It's not like they're not going to shoot from here. Yeah, stay wider. If we put you on attack, what does it mean? Cross more. It just, like, cross even more and more aggressively than before. I think that's probably going to be fine. I suspect there's still going to be plenty of scoring opportunities. Fraser's still going to take some shots, so that's going to be okay. And yeah, we might go something like that. I'm going to swap out Nicky for probably Tony over here. Although we'd want to play this probably supporting fullback. Caleb Crane can be the supporting wingback because he'll move forward a little bit more, and that does seem to be his strength. So probably something like this against Wraith at home, but we'll see. This video's gone on long enough. I've got to put a cut in here. Thanks for watching, folks, and see you next time.